Hey guys, welcome to the Radcast. This is our open mic episode, and it's also just Josh and I today. And it is us, and we are just hanging out and enjoying our fourth open mic.
Yeah.
It's kind of been crazy doing this in between holidays. I mean, you know, had this idea and then we started doing it, and then it was holidays and, you know, all the other things that happen with holidays. But here we are, and here's open mic. Just you and I, but I'm excited because I feel like we have a lot of cool things to talk about today. Even though, again, for the most part, it's just pretty unscripted.
Yeah.
I think we were like talking a good bit pre-show about just like different things, and so I think we'll have a good time in this episode today. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm you know, hanging out, recovering from the holidays, and
Dude, me too.
Traveling and stuff.
Yeah, because you went to Vegas, right?
Yeah, for a night, and then went to LA.
And then LA. How was that?
It was good. I mean, just kind of like hunkered down at my friend's house because I mean it's really bad out there in LA with COVID. But
I was like, wait, with
what?
No. Oh yeah, the thing that's still happening and
yeah.
still going on in the world, like the pandemic. I forgot. Yeah.
But hunkered down, masked up, stayed away from people, and it was fun. They were recording with the band. It was good stuff.
How did that go?
It was great. Got 3 songs started.
Yeah, what kind of music do you produce, Josh?
We like make kind of old country style stuff now.
That is so cool.
And the likes of like Patsy Cline.
Cool.
Definitely, if you haven't listened to Patsy Cline, give it a shot. Take an afternoon off. Rest. You have my permission. Your boss said it's okay. Take the rest of the day off at work.
I think I think you're definitely the one who instructs everyone that listens to the podcast right here.
I called the CEO of your company, and all the shareholders. I actually bought your company out just to say you can listen to Patsy Cline all day.
That is
but
funny.
They'll understand. You can just walk out and just say, Patsy Cline, you're good.
That is funny. Funny.
But got back here.
Yeah.
Hunker down, taking it easy.
Yeah.
Trying to get back in the work groove, get in the ad zone.
Right. But did you have a good because you were out there for Christmas and New Year's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Super cool.
Very chill New Year's.
Yeah.
Very just like sat in a kitchen with a couple of my friends and watched the ball change.
That's fun.
The time change.
That's super fun.
About 3 hours after you did. You beat me to the New Year. How does that feel?
Honestly, it was pretty good. I actually had a pretty fun New Year's, to be honest. It was funny because when Ryan and I recorded an episode last week, when we were talking about it, like at that point we already had our New Year's plans, like, you know, and you obviously had your New Year's plans. Like everyone pretty much had their plans like set in stone. But by the time the episode actually released, that would have already passed.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking in like hypotheticals. We were like, I'm supposed to be doing this, so I guess we'll see if that happened later. And to be honest, I was pretty spot on with what we ended up doing. So we had a couple of my friends came down from West Virginia that I went to school with at WVU, and we just had like New Year's in like my apartment. It was kind of chill. I decorated my apartment. It was all cute, you know. You made it, all super New Year's and festive or whatever. And then I didn't even turn I don't even think we turned the TV on. I just think we were waiting for the 12 o'clock time change, because like I don't remember like anything really big happening about it, because we were just like, oh, okay, so we played we played cards. We played a bunch of card games, and obviously I did not win. Actually, this is a good story. So the first time I even taught you rummy, you kicked my ass.
I did my best.
Kind of made me upset. And I was like, oh, this is game I love to play. And, then
I just like hustled you. I'm actually like a 3-time like state
champion. Yeah, you probably lied. You're probably like, actually, I play rummy all the time. I actually know this game very well. And,
every single day.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, it was a good New Year's. And, but yeah, apart from that, we heard some interesting news. To kind of start off, I guess, our conversational parts of today, but have you heard that the time is actually like getting faster in the sense of like there's debate about changing the time length of a minute.
Yes.
Have you heard about this?
Just very vaguely before, but like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're talking about this first before we run out of time.
No, right? Exactly. No pun intended.
We have to talk about everything in this podcast exactly 1 second faster than we usually would.
No, right, because that's kind of the debate. It's like apparently like 2020 had the shortest year. So like, you know how there's like the shortest year every year or whatever. Apparently like 2020 had the shortest day like 28 times over compared to 2005.
Dang. Whoa.
Which is really kind of weird to think about. And also last year was like 0.5 milliseconds shorter than like the last 60 years or something random like that. But I just think that's so interesting because now the conversation is, do you change time? Do you change like the length of time? Which like some people were saying this isn't going to be decided until like 2023 when, you know, all the members that decide time or whatever get together and basically go, okay, you know, I guess we're going to change time, or change the scope of a minute, because that's what essentially is like getting affected, I guess, is just.
I'm imagining like a big time convention. Like, did you go to TimeCon last year?
But like, what is your opinion? Like, what is your thought on that? Like,
I don't know. It could be cool. I mean, it's like, it is fun to think about it in terms of like, it feels very like David Lynch of like, oh, we just decide it's shorter and then everything like goes a little bit faster or something. Or it's like, oh, we can just decide, if everyone just decides that it's like 1907,
right,
we'll just go back in time. That's how time travel works, by the way.
Is that how time travel works?
Yeah,
I honestly had no idea that's how. Have you ever time traveled?
Just a couple times.
Right.
Can we edit this out? Because I don't want any like
of your
FBI agents like knocking at the door
again.
Yeah. Glad I have my time travel machine. Otherwise,
have you had an experience like this before?
Maybe. I don't remember.
You don't time traveled it out of you.
Does not compute.
Right. No, it's interesting because it kind of begs the question of like, because you know how, I mean, you know, you get out of work and it's like 5:30 or whatever, the sun's gone.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up, the sun's not out. You leave the office and the sun's already down. Do you feel like I feel like this debate's been around for a while, and obviously like we're in the younger scope of the work life, you know, kind of deal. But like the work week, like do you feel like it's like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of debate about this right now, even because of COVID. Like what's the time that's too much working? Like, you know,
I think it's like a good, both like the changing the minute and like also the new like work setup. It's kind of like important to think about of like time is, our concept of time is made up.
Right.
And like only a fun like side mission you can go on is like looking into how different cultures like visualize time, because like Western culture usually doesn't like a linear method, but like that's not the only way to like visualize time, which is very fun.
All right, elaborate.
Yeah. There's some like a lot of Asian, like specifically I think like Japanese culture will think of it in like cyclical like visuals where it's like it's like, oh, like, well, next time I can do it, whereas like Western, you're kind of like, oh, well, I'll never get that chance again, or like, oh, this happened, or like this will never happen again,
right?
Or it kind of feels like you're running out of time,
right?
But like when you visualize a different way, it's kind of there's like a very specific like country, like it's like Madagascar or something somewhere, I don't know where I forgot where it is, but like they visualize time as like something is flowing into the back of your head and like forward, and so you're like, I guess for us, we would visualize that as like we're moving down the timeline, but we're looking backwards. Interesting. But like for them, it's like flowing forward. But you can only see it as it's going forward. So it's like, it's hard to wrap your head around. Yeah. I'm trying to think about this. This is kind of, I feel like this is one of those like you really have to concentrate and kind of like meditate on. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, okay, like where do I see myself in time? Where do I see myself in the scope of time? And you know, like thinking about it in that approach. But it is interesting just to think about in general, just how work and just the time we spend in work like affects just, I mean, really everything else. I mean, like essentially I wish there was like, you know, 7 more hours in the day to where I could do more work, you know what I mean? But I feel like there needs to be
that balance. But, where do you feel like, I mean, I guess it kind of even goes into just like agency life in general, but like what is that line for you look like, as far as like work life kind of stuff?
Yeah, I always try to make sure I'm leaving space for other things other than work. It's part of the fun of, man, I like this episode because we're kind of like tying in time to everything.
Yeah, I know it, but it's a good point though. I mean, like
time is kind of like a decided thing. We like humans made it up. It's it's relative to some things. Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously,
but like at the end of the day, we could just decide it's a different time, and like it's not like someone discovered a clock. Like,
right.
But like we have different just like cultural norms of like the 8-hour work week. Kind of a little industrial revolution product there, and then I am team abolish daylight savings.
Oh, go on this. I can tell you want to go off.
No, it's fine. You can just wake up at a different time if you need the sunlight, Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's not that useful. The other countries didn't jump on. Why are we doing it?
Well, I mean, I feel like some people saw use of it, like, forever ago. But I mean, I think to your point, like, is that needed now? Like, it was needed for a time.
Yeah, a time.
It was needed for a time.
But now we don't have time for it.
But now we don't. We need that time for other things. Like, I feel like society and life has progressed in a different way that time could probably be used somewhere else.
Right.
But where do you put it?
Yeah.
Where would you put it? Where would you put that extra time?
I don't know. Probably more creative things.
Like what?
Probably more music things, more stuff at home, more like thinking, and honestly more rest. I think
that's a really good
lot
point.
of people. It's part of like a work week and like kind of post work. Kind of how I divide up my time is like I've recently been focusing. I've realized like last couple of years of like setting up time to rest. Because otherwise it's like you just kind of go. And then I'm finding that it's like I'm more productive giving myself more time to rest and less time to work. Because it's like you kind of burn yourself out. It's like bit. You want to think of like if you get on social media, especially like LinkedIn, you can get sucked into this like productivity culture and stuff. And like that, it's all well and good and stuff.
Right.
I know how to work hard, but it's like
right. But there are dangers to it.
But also work smart, not hard. Like,
correct.
You can work 40 hours a week and give me like 20 hours worth of work, or you can like if you just like spend more time planning, like resting, you come in with a fresh mind. Like you can come in and they're like, oh, like I can handle this really fast now, and like you kind of work better, you feel better, you feel more energized while you're working. I think it's an important thing to like really try and stay is like creating time for you to be resting, not thinking about work, and then also creating time to be like creating stuff, like making stuff for yourself. And I think it makes you like a more well-rounded person and kind of helps improve like every aspect of what happens.
I totally agree with you. I even think, not to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, to piggyback off of,
circling back.
Yeah. Per my last name. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like to that point, as much as society, I feel like you see on Instagram, do yourself, create an Instagram feed that's for who you are, your own aesthetic. Like there's all these things that I feel like really try to push people to really be you, and it's your decision and blah, 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 blah. And I think that's all fine and good. But like, is there actually that actionable push of make the time for yourself? Like it's not about just like these decisions are mine and like I'm deciding to say this now and I'm gonna post this because this is what I want to post, and I'm gonna share this because this goes with my narrative and whatever. So, okay, that's awesome, it's absolutely awesome, but then at the end of the day, like how much time are you actually giving to yourself to be a better person? And I'm talking to myself as much as like I'm like I need to give myself more time. I genuinely wish I had, and I talk about 7 hours of the day. I wish I had more time because I genuinely wish I had more time to do yoga. I wish I had more time to read a book. I wish I had more time to do music. or listen to music and, you know, do other things, to be outside. Like, I love outside, and it's like I feel like I don't have any time to be outside. You know what I mean? It's like things like that, and it's like, it's, you know, oh, you actually probably have time to do it. And it's like, yeah, I probably do.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you slow down from other things, you're trying to jump to something else, and it's like,
yeah,
I only have 24 hours here. Like, what are we doing?
I think it helps to have, like, what really helped me is, like, I spent a long time, like, kind of learning about different cultures, like perspectives on time and stuff, and different conceptualizations. There's a lot out there.
Yeah. Like what was your biggest one?
Well, like, some people ask, like, do you feel like time's moving forward, or is time happening to you? Some people visualize it in, like, the circles, like I said.
Right.
Other people see it as, like, a collage of events that aren't, like, linear. And I think kind of, if you kind of really, like, dig into, like, how are you actually conceptualizing time, that's kind of like the groundwork of how you think. Because some people get really caught into a linear time where it's like they always, like, keep putting things in front of themselves, and so it's like a bunch of goals that you're gonna keep not reaching, and then it's all these things of, like, if you get too far in, it's really useful, like like that's exactly why we have time and how we can get so much done. Like, we are probably, like, in a given day, like, producing more than, like, people were doing in, like, weeks in the past.
Oh, absolutely.
But, like, that's why we've, like, advanced so fast, like, as a society, like, absolutely, as a world recently. Right. But, like, because time gives us that, like, kind of agreed upon, like, here's how we're going to measure time and, like, distance between things of, like, events, so we can meet together and collaborate on things and kind of, like, be on the same page.
Right.
But some people get into this mindset of, like, oh, we've measured it, so, like, I only have this much time left, and
right.
you constantly feel like you're running out of something. And that's, like, it's true and it's not true. It's like, it's true if you visualize it that way. If you don't, then it's not true anymore. It's like, it kind of, like, it sounds, I feel like I'm in the like the trippy side of things.
No, like, I mean, I feel like we kind of went down this road. Now we're just going to stay on it. Like, I mean, at this point, like, we're just going to talk about this, because I think this is useful for a lot of reasons, in the sense of, I mean, we're both in the Gen Z millennial bracket, and I feel like our generation specifically, and I think this definitely applies for every generation, but I feel like our generation specifically has just been, like, absorbed, and
I mean, there's so many factors. It's crazy.
It's like an expectation piece is now in front of our face all the time. You are seeing what everyone is doing all the time. Yeah. And whether you realize it or not, you're, like, even comparing yourself to, like, this person's already doing this in their life. Like, like, what? You know, and it makes you think about things, and then you feel rushed with your time. You feel like, am I even making use of my time? And it's like, I have, you know, I made a thing. I liked how Caitlin, one of the episodes last week, before New Year's released, in the open mic episode, she was talking about New Year's resolutions, and she was talking about making a word for your year. Yeah. And I really liked that idea, and so I kind of took it on and kind of made a word for my year, and I kind of chose the word of growth, and I'm trying to apply that in a couple areas of my life, whether that's, like, you know, personally, like, you know, from a spiritual and religious standpoint, whether it's, like, mental health, like, physically, you know, like, growth, like, trying to grow, trying to be better, work, all that kind of stuff. But in that, like, I have to accept the fact that this is like my window of opportunity, right? Like, this is no one else gets to really do, like, no one else gets to do what Josh is doing, no one else gets to do what Riley's doing, no one gets to do what you as the listener, you know, like, no one else gets to really do what you're doing right now. And, like, how cool is that your role, you know, in society is contributing to who you are. And it's like, you know, it's like this bigger idea of just being you and making the most of that, even though it probably feels like, oh, well, other people are doing this. Yeah. And, like, other people are doing that. It's like, okay.
I think that's so important, especially in, like, the world of social media and, like, 100%. Hyper connectivity. It's like you can easily feel like you're way behind other people, and then easily feel like you're not unique at all. Oh yeah. And so you get caught in this world of, like, watching other people live, and then you just kind of, like, beat yourself up of, like, oh, I'm not doing this. And it's like, no, do you actually want to do that? Like, really take a look at, like, do you actually want to be doing that at this point in your life? Is that good for you? Yeah. It's like, you need to, like, there's a bunch of different timelines. Like, I think you can be a lot of different things. Absolutely. And, it's like, I do this for myself. It's like some people are like, oh, what's the next thing I'm gonna do? I'm like, well, what else am I gonna do?
Right.
That's kind of where I try to go. Of like, I don't have to be one thing or at a time. I can do a lot of different things. Like,
I agree with you. I think this is something else. Like I was talking to someone the other day. We were discussing this a little bit because I also feel like there's all this pressure of, you just said this, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, who are you going to be? Like, what career are you trying to do? Like, what is X? Like, what, like, you know, and it's like, it has to be this definite thing you make mm-hmm. when you're in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like, chill. Like, I am figuring myself out still. I am,
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? There's all these other factors that are coming into play here. And I also think that, like, it's like a really false, like, expectation to hold on people, because there are people, you know, way older than us, like people even in their 70s and 80s who are reestablishing their life and like mm-hmm. recreating their life and redefining their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you're never one thing in your life. Mm-hmm. Like you can be a student at one part in your life, and then you can be, you know, you can be a career person in another part of your life. You can be a mother, and you can be at the same time too.
Like I don't expect to ever like figure out. Like I don't think I'm not even like trying at this point where I'm like, I'm just going to see what else I'm going to do.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. Where do you get your inspiration from? No, I'm curious.
Oh, man.
Like when you're like looking at things, like when you're like trying to work on things about your life or do whatever, like where are you going for that kind of inspiration? Like you've already talked a lot about going through other cultures mm-hmm. and kind of learning through things like that. That was clearly a big part of your life, right?
Usually I'm like, I am pretty curious. I mean, a lot of people are, but it's like mm-hmm. I'm kind of a like get in and like look at all the pieces of something kind mm-hmm. of guy. So like mm-hmm. I was like, why do we think of time in a line? And so I was like, I'm gonna look it up, and then mm-hmm. I was like, oh wait, a lot of people don't. Mm-hmm. And like I like also like part of what led to that was like I saw an artist was making a series of watches that you could only see the hand during like when there's sun, and so like or like basically like after like 5 p.m. or something, it just like disappeared, and so like you couldn't see where the hand was.
That's
and, like,
interesting.
Then I saw another one. He made a second one where it's just like there was sunlight out on for like it was a watch that said, is the sun out, or like is it daytime or is it nighttime basically. And I was like,
what did you take away from that?
I was like, I think it feels more free, because like when you like lock yourself into a schedule, because mm-hmm. I don't like schedules.
Me neither.
I like the Wes Anderson movie Darjeeling Unlimited, where he's like F the itinerary. I'm like, that's what I feel. Right. It's like it's so much more freeing when you're just like, I'm like, yeah, I work 9 to 5 and I don't have a problem with that. But mm-hmm. like when I leave, I'm like, I want to do this. Yeah. I'm not leaving. I'm not saying, like you want to have, like, you kind of need to have like some options available. Like there is some planning still.
Absolutely.
But it's not the like lock in planning where it's like 5:15 or like 5 o'clock, pack up, leave. 5:15, get home.
Right.
Like
5:30, start making dinner.
5:17.
Yeah, exactly. Stop at the stoplight up the street.
Stop at the stoplight. It's like I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna like do my next bass lesson.
Right.
And I don't have a time frame set up. I'm like, oh, I want to do this, and if I have time, this. And I think,
see, I really like that.
When you get home, like, I think it kind of helps, like, it helped me realize this of like, you can do a lot more than you think you can, like, after work. Mm-hmm. 'Cause like, when I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym when I get home I'm going to work out for an hour. I'm going to do this for an hour, and then I'm going to do this. I'd get home and like, I'm like, I don't want to. Right. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not excited about it anymore. Now it's just another task.
Another task.
And all of a sudden I've extended my work day. Mm-hmm. And then it's like not fun anymore. Mm-hmm. But like setting it up to where it's like, I'm going to try these things and learn more. That's kind of helped. And I think a big key of like inspiration is like, you got to think of like, look at first stuff outside. Like, I don't listen to podcasts that are like, I don't only listen to advertising podcasts. Right. Like, I listen to fun podcasts. Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. But more of the time, like, I'm either like reading a book that's fun, watching movies, like reading. I said reading books already. I like reading articles. Like, also when I do read books or watch a movie and stuff that I really like, I'll like read reviews on it too, like read critics takes, like read articles about it, like watch. There's really great video essays out there on like YouTube, which is really easy to like digest. Like, and that helps you like really break down like what the artist was trying to say and like how different people are interpreting it. Because you can either, there's like a two ways here. It's like you can miss, like maybe you missed a point that like a different person picked up, or a critic might say like, oh, it was about this, and you might disagree. Like you can disagree with critics on art. Like that's kind of the fun of art.
Yeah.
And that's where I get a lot of ideas from. It's like consuming art. It's like I'm just like trying to like bring in things that bring enjoyment or like make me think, stuff like that. And I think it's another thing that's kind of progressed. It's helped me learn a lot more than say like, again, I'm kind of like anti this like weird like hyperactive productivity culture where it's like you need to schedule every day, you need to meal prep, no seasonings, also
no seasonings,
you should only listen to business and investing books and podcasts. I was like, I still like read about that stuff, like I still keep up, but it's like you gotta have some color, have some flavor, have some like art,
shake things up,
because that's the only way you're gonna take yourself out of your box and also like find inspiration. And part of that is like in the rest too. I feel like
I agree. You need to give your mind. I think I like that. You need to give your time. You need to give your mind time to just process what happened even in the day. I'm a big journaler. I love to journal. I love to write, and that is a huge thing for me. Is just like taking the time to journal and write. And I noticed there was a couple weeks ago where I did not make time to journal, and it was something I normally do every day or every other day. And it really messed with my week because I just did not make that extra just Reiley time. Like, you know what I mean? I make a cup of tea, I have my journal, I just start writing. And it's not a certain time of the day. It's just whenever I deem it necessary for me to start, writing, or I have something on my mind I want to write about, or, whether it's like poetry or a short story or whatever. It's just like the writing, just getting it out there. And, it's like really critical to give yourself that kind of time, because I've like when you don't give yourself your own time, it affects like how you even interact with other people. And like I think the other thing I noticed is when I would work out or do some yoga or something in the morning, like when I made the morning about myself, or like kind of ritualized my mornings, I was doing things for myself before I came to work, where I'm doing things for other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like I'm over here where I'm not trying to say like that felt like that sounded bad, but you know what I mean? Like this is about, if you make time for yourself, I feel like you can, it's like a psychological thing. I'd love to have a psychologist on here and like help us out and be like, well, actually that's because, your brain, you've given yourself time. Now you can give people other time.
He's going to say something like 3 seconds and we're like, that.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're going to look at us and go, okay, none of what you said is correct. We're going to go, really? Like, I thought we're onto something here. Like
these people need help.
Yeah. That's probably what's actually happening. Honestly, there's probably a psychologist listening to this then going, okay, we gotta talk to someone about this. But no, but I mean, I think there's a lot of cool things that I think can come from just giving yourself just the necessary time that you need. And I don't know, as a society, I kind of fear that like maybe we're not actually giving ourselves the time we think we are. Like posting on Instagram about yourself, I think that's fine, but I don't know if that's really, and it might be you time. But
it can
is that really you time? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is that just time like with yourself? Like, just like giving yourself that time to grow. Like, I
think it's part of the whole like production
that we were talking about.
And like, I think people need to, I think that's kind of my key of like concept of time, and also like making room for inspiration. Right. It's like, you have to kind of let go of the idea of wasting time. Where
that's
it's like,
a good point.
Yeah. Cause it's like, I think that's my key of like, I'm not running out of time. I'm not wasting time. I'm like, maybe I'm sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, but it's like people took beans, they took the pit of a berry, dried it out, roasted it, and then someone crushed them up and like roasted it, and I bought it from them to help support the local coffee shop and I get to sit there and drink it.
Yeah, like that's
pretty wild. That's fun. Like,
yeah.
And that's when I can like if you open up time to like do something that's maybe not going to make you money, maybe it costs you money, like, but it's creative and it's helping you express yourself or like learn something new of like I'm taking online bass lessons and
that's
like
dope.
I don't ever plan on playing bass live like or recording. I just think it's fun.
Yeah,
like,
you're doing it for
I
you.
I love to like cook and stuff. I might not ever work in a restaurant. I might not even make a meal again. Like it'll be like it's fun and that's what helps me learn, helps me kind of clear my head and think about something else. And a lot of times I'll like learn how to learn better for other things, like learning how to play music. I'm like, oh, I can apply this learning technique to this like advertising thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of like the shower thought mentality of like,
absolutely, when
you like give yourself that space to let your mind wander, you'll get these like really cool ideas.
No, that's what's like, I agree with that. I have a little field notebook I just kind of carry with me because to that end, like if I am by myself just doing things, I really like being able to have that notebook to where when I do have that thought, it's just written down. Because whether that's helping me in something that I'm thinking about for the Radcast or something for another part of work or whether another part of life or, you know, something else that's going on, whatever it is, I just like having the thoughts written down because they're kind of your baseline. They're kind of your foundation. They're kind of where you're going back to and, you know, your just other things you're creating for yourself. And I think there's a lot that I think people can take away from just I'm using the word ritualizing, but you know what I mean when I'm saying that. It's like just taking the time for you and making it intentional. That's another big word. I love that word. I mean, because I think without like intentionality of things, you're going to miss just a whole scope of opportunity, you know? But
exactly. You're not wasting time. Do something fun. Do something creative.
Exactly.
Do something that's, I don't know. I feel like key here, do more fun things and you'll be more inspired. Yeah. More fulfilled.
Yeah. We just went down a really crazy, intense path.
That was fun.
That's okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for this. Like that felt like that was good, you know? No, but I mean, and less of a serious note, I feel like we always get on a TikTok topic in some point, some form or fashion. So I feel like you have to have an opinion about something that happened on TikTok this week. Yeah. You're like,
you know what else is inspiring?
Tell me.
TikTok.
Make time for TikTok.
Yes, man. Have you seen the Ratatouille musical?
Okay, wait. We talked about this a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know anything about this beforehand. I saw a glimpse of it, and then part of me was like, it's probably a joke. Realized it's not a joke. It's actually pretty serious. They raised $1 million. Yeah, actually, super casual little pocket change, but they raised $1 million to help the Actors Guild.
Yeah.
Actors Guild. Actors.
Something.
Yeah. Actors Fund, basically. Yeah, the fund for actors to
the Guild Fund.
Yeah. Fund. Yeah, who've been affected by the pandemic. So,
but very sick, amazing, classic movie, Ratatouille.
Oh yeah,
rats cooking. What could be better?
Obviously.
Everyone loves rats in their kitchen.
Clearly.
I myself have plenty.
Really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, they cook all my food and stuff. They eat a little bit, but like, you know, it's a give and take. It's a relationship.
Ooh.
But it started as like on TikTok. There was all these like trends of people like a girl would get on her boyfriend's like shoulders and then like pull his hair around the kitchen and be like, it'll be like cooking and it had the music in the background. So funny.
No, those trends are the best. I do love those trends.
But it just kept on going from there. And then someone one day just made a TikTok and they were like, what if Ratatouille was a musical? And then someone replied to that and with a TikTok and was like, it would sound sort of like this, and then made a song. And then someone was like, here's a better version. And it just kind of snowballed. And I think that's kind of the beauty of TikTok is it's so collaborative.
Oh yeah. And
you like people will take a trail and just run with it. And it's cool because like by the end of it, you'll have thousands of people are involved. Like tons of like, and the more people like use those songs and stuff and like make jokes about it, people were like, wait, but what if we actually did it?
Right.
And they're like, no, it's just a joke. And then more people did it and they're like, but like, what if we actually did it? And then
but what if this kept going?
Actual like Broadway actors were getting on. They're like, but like,
what if we actually did
like,
it? Yeah.
And then I saw like probably like 3 where there was like real life Broadway producers who were making TikToks. And like I saw one specifically who was like, I've produced these Broadway shows. You know, I could. He's like, I'm willing to. And he like, I saw a couple where they were like pitching them where it was like a job interview. They were like, way. I did this, and this. I have this much experience. Like TikTok, I'm asking you, can I produce this for you? And like, would love to be your producer. I want the people to decide.
And thus created Ratatouille, a TikTok musical, right?
Now it is a verified account on TikTok. Ratatouille the musical. I think it was literally like stitched together TikToks.
Stop.
Because like, I remember this being like
your camera's on you. Yeah.
But like,
oh my gosh, stop.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, now I'm just crazy excited about
this.
God. I'll put this in the show notes. Don't worry. I know everyone's so curious now. I'll put it in the show notes.
I think it's an important note here is inspiration. Sometimes you need to put it out in the world and let other people help take you across the finish line. It's part of art. I
love that.
Part of art. Once you let it go, it can be better.
Oh, maybe that's part of the collaboration. I think there's a lot of collaboration that's still happening and needs to happen more. And I hope that in 2021 that just, you know, as a society we see more just coming together, and I would love for that to be more of a thing that we see in 2021 because
I agree.
It's important. And I think, all jokes aside, I think the timeliness of this episode, and we're talking about time and talking about collaboration and just being together. I don't know. It's putting me in the feels a little bit, just thinking about just all the things that it's the beginning of the year, and it just makes me feel like there's so much that can happen in 2021. And I just hope, I don't know, I would love for it to just be a really positive year and just a lot of like really good stories come out of this year. I would love for that to happen. But,
yeah, same.
You know?
I think we're set up really well to have that happen too. We've got more tools than ever, like ready, available to like have collaboration, and Absolutely. A lot of people are willing. There's a lot of creative people out there who lost their outlets this year.
Absolutely.
I think if you kind of like lean into it, like we can have even more stuff this year.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited for this year. I think there's going to be a lot of fun about this year, and especially fun on the Radcast. Obviously, we're going to have like a lot more of this kind of, you know, open mic, ad gab, news, guests. It's all going to be there, and I'm very excited for this just to continue, and you know, for all the episodes that are up and coming. It's crazy because if you all saw it, we released our 100th episode last week, which is super exciting. And we'll probably, I feel like by the rate we were going in 2020, we'll probably release our 200th this year as well, more than likely. Yeah. So that's also exciting. But I am very thankful that you came on today and that we got to do this again.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, this is fun. I like open mic. And maybe next week we'll have Caitlin and Alex come back on, and maybe one day we'll do all 5 of us.
Be cool.
6. All 6 of us.
All 6.
5 or 6? 6. 5. Sorry, I didn't go to school for math.
6 is too much.
Yeah, no. But that's it for us today.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, I have other jobs, and you have another thing that you need.
Yeah, I've got a big schedule for the rest of the day.
Right, obviously at our afternoon time here, but no. So please follow along the Radcast. We love hearing from you. We've been reading the reviews recently, and the reviews have been awesome. Love hearing from you guys, and I'm happy you guys are enjoying our content, enjoying the show. We are on YouTube, and we have like all these videos there on YouTube. So please go to YouTube, check them out, and then all of our highlights from episodes and are on our Instagram at the.rad.cast. Now I'll pull that up here. You can obviously follow Josh and I if you're ever so inclined. I mean, you know, it's like it's open, you know, to that possibility. Josh has a really cool username, courtesy of his middle name. Yeah. Josh Chill over here.
Josh Chill.
And you know, you're welcome to follow me as well. And obviously please follow Ryan Alford if you have not already. He is on Instagram at Ryan Alford. And then the Radcast is a product of Radical Company, and that's a full digital marketing agency in Greenville, South Carolina. So we know what we're talking about here. When we're talking about marketing, there is a reason why. So go check out Radical Company as well. And we will see you tomorrow with the news. So see you next time.
Yo guys, what's up? Ryan Alford here. Thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. But do us a favor. If you've been enjoying the Radcast, you need to share the word with a friend or anyone else. We'd really appreciate it. And go leave us a review at Apple or Spotify. Do us a solid. Tell more people, leave us some reviews. And hey, here's the best news of all. If you want to work with me directly, if you want to get your business kicking ass and you want Radical or myself involved, you can text me directly at 864-729-3680. Don't wait another minute. Let's get your business going. 864-729-3680. We'll see you next time.